there's certain things in those documents when the condos were built that even though this clubhouse is not connected to that building over there, on the books and in the documents, it is connected. So, the documents, the way I interpret them, is that it should be run independently, but as far as insurance and some of the other requirements of the city, that this is part of that, because that's the way it was built, and that's how the club came to be, and how things were changed over time. So technically, the address for the Middle River Club is the same as over there, because it's on the original documents, it's on all the insurances, and stuff that can't change. Now, the reason I say it's a little convoluted is because, like I said, same address, a lot of the big important entities consider it one. However, there's an address that's 1650 Oakland Park Boulevard is where the service address is for the pool filter or gas heater. So there's an address for that. There's two addresses for the electric bill, which is one is for the office, which is for the gate system, and the other is for the clubhouse. And I don't know, there's an apartment number, there's like 4 different addresses for utilities. But the mailing address or how to get the bill is consistent, okay? So I'm just saying that things that have been done in the past since 1965 to keep this place running, it's not been as clear as perhaps it should be, and maybe it's just because it was just easier to kind of not make a big deal out of it. I mean, the gas still came, the electric still came, the addresses, so what? You know, bills got paid, nobody cared, you know, it doesn't make a big, you know, so I get that. And that's some of the stuff that I didn't know coming into this, okay? So as much as everybody's like, oh, this guy, you know, be totally independent. And I've even gone through minutes from, you know, years ago, because I got a big cart full of minutes and old paperwork, and I was like curious, like what happened before me? What happens since I've been living here, and how did we get here, kind of thing. So, so there's been a lot of discussion about, you know, keeping Middle River Club independent of all the 3 buildings, which is really good in theory, and it should be as much as possible. But there's some practical points that it just can't be, because, you know, it would be too expensive, which there's money we don't have, and to really make a big deal out of, you know, some of these things. So, given that information, that was just a little bit of an expansion of why right now it's being forwarded, because I'm the treasurer and I'm paying the bills. And of the 5 board members, I have the most time to dedicate to some of these operations for the time being. Now, I try to remind everybody, I'm volunteering my services and my time and energy. And up to now, some of my money to keep this thing going, moving along, okay? I mean, I'm owed a decent chunk of change, which was discussed on the April 11th meeting. But if the pool pump hadn't been replaced at $3,000, then we would have continued to have the leak, which would have continued to increase the water bill $400 a month more. To, you know, so there's certain things that needed to be done, and I made an executive decision, whatever you want to call it, just get it done and worry about it later, kind of thing, because it just needed to be done. So, and there's, you know, when I decided to go ahead and, you know, the front entrance, you know, had been neglected for probably 3 years, and I was under the impression on March 29th that there was $8,855 in there. I was like, oh, that shouldn't be too bad. You know, I mean, there'll be the next quarter's money's coming in, all that. I'm like, all right, you know, $3,000 for the entrance island and $3,000 for the pump that needed to be done. Now, that's $6,000. That's not, you know, not blowing the wad kind of thing. So it's kind of like, but then I found out when we went to the bank, there's zero money in the bank, zero credit card, and this is where we are today. So I'm looking forward to, you know, some money's coming from River Shore as soon as possible. Let's stick on the agenda. I've got 16 more minutes to finish up here, and then we will take discussion and questions, and we'll try to answer as much as we can after that. Okay, the boat dock scenario here, we have, you know, availability supposedly for people with their boats and docks, and the last, I just registered somebody, you know, but other than that, it hadn't been updated for 2 years. So I don't know whose boats, what, and where it is.
I have all that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the last, you gave it to me. Yeah. I mean, I know you had it, now I have it, but the last update was 2 years ago. So either the people are not, you know, re-registering or updating their profile January 15th each year or whatever, but also some of these boats that, especially the bigger ones, now you're supposed to put the securing lines, the anchors to the dock are supposed to be done the correct way. Now, unless you pay a professional that knows what they're doing, some of these people that have these boats are putting these secure lines to stabilize the boat, but they're not putting them in far enough or connecting them to something stable, and they're just kind of, you know, on the verge of the deck. I mean, it's like the deck plank is supporting the boat, you know, so they're coming unhinged and damaging the planks on the dock because they're not installed correctly. So, you know, we need to work on that. So whoever has a boat or knows anybody who wants to do the boat thing, we need to make sure it's done right so we don't damage. I mean, Steve's replaced at least 4 boards because the fact that the supports for the boat, you know, going in the drink, basically, you know. So we have to improve on that, but that's nothing that requires a vote. That's just that if you have a boat, want a boat, know somebody related to a boat, you know, we need to do a better job of registering. We know whose boat it is, you know, your email, your phone number, your contact, you know, in case something goes wrong, it catches on fire, somebody falls and slips and hurts themselves. You know, we just need to know stuff. I mean, it's too loosey-goosey. It has been, you know, for a couple of years now, so we have to tighten it up. Okay. All right,
Can I
next.
make a comment?
Yeah, sure.
We have number 7. Whoever is in slip number 7, I'd have no information on that person. Also, I've asked for information for the person from D114. I have not gotten any information back from that individual. So those are 2 outstanding people that I know of that don't have any information. And then also 2, I don't have a form from slip number 19. His name is Jason Beckett. I don't know which building, 411. And again, he's missing. The rest of the other people who have whether kayaks or they have boats, they have, you know, given all the information, and we've got all of that. So.
I also know that slip number 24, we had to put caution tape around because of the fact that, you know, the bolts they're cracking the planks, and it's just a matter of time where that's just going to be a matter. So, slip number 24 is out of commission until further notice. So, I don't even know who's parks there.
Nobody's there.
Oh, good.
Nobody's there.
Maybe nobody will ever be there. I don't know.
No, because 225 used to be this fellow who's now in slip number 18.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll look at that again. I just went with the folder that you gave me. Okay, all right, so any more on votes?
Nope. I'll
So,
make a copy of this.
I mean, it's like one of those things where it's an amenity, but it's just, people aren't using good care or good judgment, you know?
Well, if
And
anybody,
eventually stuff like that, you know, it goes away because it's just a money pit, it's a liability, it's a lot of things. So, you know, if you want amenities to continue to be around, the community, I'm not saying you, the 35 of you, I'm just saying you as a community need to take better care, or if you see someone who's not taking good care, ask them to take better care, or remind them to take better care, or whatever you need to do to get better care in place, you know, you just need to do better. All right.
yeah, and it's just that I have no idea who number 7 is.
Okay.
You know?
We can get back to that. So, Bruce, are you ready to move on to the next one, or you have more to say?
Nope, I'm ready, sorry.
Good?
Yep.
Sorry, you were shorthand. You good?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, we're getting there. There's light at the end of the tunnel. All right, number 9 is from time to time kind of a sore subject. But number 9, dogs at the pool. And even though an attorney, actually our attorney here, in the River Club, Andrew Black, expressed an opinion about allowing dogs at the pool. I believe, and more than me believe, that Florida law is very clear that only legal service dogs are allowed on the pool deck. Emotional support dogs are not allowed. So I make a motion to abide by, yes,
I just want to add in,
sure.
the previous board did take a vote, even though we probably didn't need to, based on the law. And originally, it was myself and Gwendolyn and Peg that voted to not allow dogs at the pool. After the meeting, at some point, we were told that Peg changed her vote. It wasn't at a meeting, we were just informed. And thus, the old rule of allowing dogs to continue, emotional support dogs or whatever, allowed to be continued. So that's why we're bringing it up again, and we're going to take another vote.
So I make a motion to make it very clear that only legal service dogs are allowed on the pool deck.
Now, how are we going to enforce that? Are we going to require, you know, some sort of documentation that they are legal service dogs?
You could, but I don't know who wants to be the cop.
So
But the point is,
Yes.
I just want to make it clear in the minutes and as a rule that, and it should be, the word should be spread, and it'll be on the minutes, it'll be on the bulletin board, it'll be wherever it needs to be.
it's already on the rules posted at the pool.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
But emotional support dogs, and I love dogs, don't get me wrong, okay? Emotional support dogs are not allowed at the pool, okay? It's just the way it is. You know, it's a community pool. You gotta leave Fifi home while you go to the pool, or what, I mean, you just, unless they provide a service to help you walk or function, or they're legal, to help you live your life, other than emotional support, they're not allowed at the pool.
I think we also should say that these dogs, if they are emotional, if they are legal service dogs, have to be leashed at all times.
Well, usually, it's been my experience working at the airport or around, that most legal service dogs have a jacket or a vest that say,
Working.
do not pet me,
Yeah.
I'm a service dog, I'm working, okay?
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, emotional support dogs don't usually have a vest saying, I'm here for emotional support, please don't pet me. You know, I mean, it's a different circumstance, a different criteria, that's all.
I just want to go back to what Helen said a few minutes ago about how do we enforce that. You know, we're board members, we're volunteers, we're not policemen. I think each association should take the responsibility of sending out a notice to, because all of our buildings have dogs, around this particular vote, so that it's clear to every single unit owner that they should not be bringing their dogs to the pool.
But then are they going to be required to show proof that they are?
Well, we can't, not unless someone is actually going to walk up to them and say, show me your papers.
Well, if the dog is clearly marked with that.
Yes. I mean, we can certainly, anyone can certainly remind someone, hey, you know, dogs are not at the pool, there's the sign, you should have gotten a notice about it, etc.
I mean, there are some people that, regardless, they're not gonna follow the rules or the law or what's expected. Because sometimes they just wanna be a scutch, they don't wanna, you know, it's just something they do, you know, I mean, so.
I mean, let's face it, the pool is one of our best features here. The last thing we need is for the health inspector to suddenly show up and walk in and see a dog on the pool. Well, then we lose access to the pool if they shut it down.
Because the health inspector was here to renew the pool permit.
Yeah.
That we failed. And we failed because the chemicals were off in the pool, and the pool company is addressing what the problem is. We know what the problem is that needs to be fixed. And there's one other item at the pool flow, which it needs to be up, the flow, I mean, the new pump increased the flow dramatically, which has made a big difference, but it's still not good enough. So the pump is good, it's just that the pipe needs to be bigger to get more water going through to be able to circulate. So, but, okay. So, we're working with the pool guy because we have a good relationship with them. And one of their guys made a boo-boo and then turned off a valve when he was cleaning the filter to the pool. And one day the pool was down about 4 inches in a 24-hour period. So the water bill is going to be up. So the pool company is going to make it right somehow, because if they want to continue to provide service for us, and they're nice guys, but you know, people make mistakes, and one guy that was out here just forgot to turn off a very important valve, and we lost a lot of water, and the pool turned green, and there you go. So, but you know, the owner of the company came out with his jugs full of chemicals, and he was here when the inspector showed up and said, no bueno. And then you know, he says, okay, we're going to take care of it. And then, so we have till May 17th for, you know, those pool fixes to, you know, be done so that we can get a renewed pool permit that expires June 30th. But they need all this done by May 17th in order to, you know, be up to snuff. But along the same lines of people just not following the rules, I mean, it's not on the agenda, but it kind of goes with it. I mean, the tennis courts. There's no dogs on the tennis courts. I mean, we had residents out there cleaning the tennis courts because they hadn't been cleaned in a while. They worked hard. They bought from their own money the supplies, the bleach, the brushes to clean the tennis courts. The surface on the tennis courts are not good for the dog's paws, whether they know it or not, or don't care, I don't know. There's a sign there. It's not a place, it's not a playpen for your dog. And the dogs, they're just being dogs. They take a crap, they pee, you know, it's not the dog's fault, it's the fault of the person that brought the dog in a place where it shouldn't be. So, I make a motion to emphasize the fact that dogs do not belong on the tennis courts, period. Exclamation point. I don't know what else to say. I mean, find some place to take your dogs. I mean, we all love dogs. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of dogs in a small area.